What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka Allfires. Now, one of the biggest held fan theories leading up to the release of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is that we would see Tom Cruise as Iron Man. This was a major point of contention for industry insiders who had very, very differing opinions. Some people saying he was absolutely in the film, some industry insiders coming out and saying he had nothing to do with the film, and there are still two industry insiders who hold to that while we didn't see him in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, we will see Tom Cruise's superior Iron Man variant somewhere in the future of the MCU. Fans are now hoping that that somewhere is Secret Wars. Well, coming directly from the source himself, the screenwriter, the head writer on Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Michael Waldron, who also wrote for Loki, did an interview with Rolling Stone and weighed in on just that. Tom Cruise as Iron Man. They asked a ton of poignant questions about it. He gets to the bottom of that. Was there any truth to it at all? His thoughts and reaction, as well as talking about the Illuminati and other cameos. We're breaking down exactly what he said regarding Tom Cruise's Iron Man and whether or not this leaves room for a future appearance. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button. We do daily Marvel content at the channel, and that's all we do. Everything from official Easter egg breakdowns, trailers, and reviews to the occasional industry insider scoop, interviews just like this, and everything in between. So if that sort of thing's for you, hit the sub button and leave a comment down below. That will automatically enter you to win our ongoing PS5 giveaway, which we're right around the corner from. If you want, stick around to the end of the video. We'll get into all the giveaway stuff again there. So as I mentioned moments ago in the prologue, in an interview with Rolling Stone, Michael Waldron, the head writer on Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, was asked point blank about this Tom Cruise Iron Man variant. Quote, "Fans were totally right about Patrick Stewart appearing as an alternate Professor X, but totally wrong about Tom Cruise, who had once been slated to star as Iron Man years before Robert Downey Jr., showing up as an alternate Iron Man. Did fans totally make up the Tom Cruise thing?" Quote, "Yeah, it was totally made up. I mean, there's no cut footage of Tom Cruise, but I love Tom Cruise, and I said to Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige at one point, I was like, could we get Tom Cruise as Iron Man? I remember reading about it in Ain't It Cool News back in the day, and Tom Cruise was going to be Iron Man again, this before Robert Downey Jr. eventually took the role. So they continued to push. So it's totally made up by fans." Quote, "You also tried to make it up though. Is that what you're saying?" He goes, "Yeah, exactly. As it was being talked about online, I was like, yeah, that would be really cool." So here's an instance of fans, just like we did with all of the concept art for John Krasinski, influencing what Marvel Studios is doing. You have the head writer for Loki seeing all the theories and fan theories online. Still, Rolling Stone pressed further. Quote, "So what did Kevin say when you asked him about Tom Cruise possibly showing up as an Iron Man cameo?" To which he responded, "Well, I mean, he was shooting Mission Impossible 7 and 8. So to be totally clear, quote, "Did anyone reach out to Tom Cruise?" To which Michael Waldron replied, "I don't think so. I just don't think it was ever an option because of availability." Now, they went ahead and also asked him about some of the earlier cameos as well, and I really think Michael Waldron's reply here is absolutely brilliant. We have him to thank for one of our fan favorite sequences now out of this film, and really what would have been a Marvel fan writing. This is what they asked. "One of my favorite parts in the film is when you introduce alternate Earth heroes as the Illuminati, and then probably have Wanda slaughter them all, which freaks some fans out. Where did that idea come from?" And he said, "Yeah, that was a blast. That's probably my favorite sequence in the movie. The idea was not in my original outline. I was writing the first draft, and I guess I felt like, as I put it, the movie needed to get drunk. I felt like we were at the point where I needed to find the madness in the multiverse here. And I had no idea, would I be able to use these characters? Would it even be possible? But I knew with Sam Raimi that if we did it this way, it would be amazing. And so I wrote it in." And really, there you have it. You have him saying, hey, this would be a really cool idea to see this, and he's writing this in hoping that Marvel Studios is going to clear these characters for him. More and more we're hearing the one-off basis and how these films are developing. And yeah, while Marvel Studios goes on these big retreats and they have an overarching idea now going forward, that's certainly not how it happened during the Infinity Saga. They took it one movie at a time going, hey, are we going to get away with this? Are we going to get away with this? Are we going to get away with this? And before you know it, Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. Now, where that leaves Tom Cruise, he obviously did not confirm whether or not Marvel Studios reached out. Just there was some sort of scheduling conflict, and it seemed like a no-go at the time. Now, in the prologue, I mentioned Tom Cruise's appearance being a major point of contention. He showed up in somewhat of what was the most ridiculous fan fiction plot leaks in the early part of January, around when they did the internal press screening. That's why I did not cover that at all, because it was so obviously fan fiction. Some of you will remember it was Tom Cruise's superior Iron Man variant. He had Thanos' head in a jar in his lab. It was just fan fiction. Some industry insiders, though, held that his cameo was there, while others pumped the brake, and there was some infighting amongst them. There are even some industry insiders, one of which is a YouTuber here on the platform, and Grace Randolph, who held that while we didn't see him in Doctor Strange, that he certainly will be showing up in a Marvel project soon, that there are different plans to use him in a different project down the road, and that's where I mentioned fans are sort of hoping that that can happen somewhere around Secret Wars or something like that. However, it does seem to me very, very interesting that Michael Waldron was able to write the idea of having this Illuminati come together, present it to Marvel, and then they gave him the okay. Instead of Marvel having the idea of bringing these characters together and letting Michael Waldron know as a writer that he had to figure out some way for this to make sense. That idea was actually held by the person they hired to write the screenplay. To me, that's crazy. I would have assumed something as big as this, with these kind of cameos, would have come from the top. That would have been an overarching decision, something they chose they were going to do in light of what just happened with Spider-Man No Way Home, almost as in the studio making the decision that that's the next phase, introducing these alternate variants. It doesn't seem like that at all. In fact, again, this is impetus here, seems like it's with the writer who presented that, which really makes me wonder what the original plan for this film was in the first place, and even at all, because without that sequence, the Multiverse of Madness title doesn't even seem like it would stick. Well, you know what? We're going to go ahead and leave that debate for a whole nother video and a whole nother day. But guys, let me know all your thoughts down below. If Superior Iron Man played by Tom Cruise, or any Iron Man variant played by Tom Cruise, is something that you want to see in the future of the MCU. The one final thought I'll leave you with: if you don't have a live action Iron Man, you can't continue to sell Iron Man toys. Just a thought. Let me know all your thoughts down below. Quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. We're still giving away PlayStation 5s every 20,000 subscribers, all the way up to 1 million. The next one's at 960, and we are rapidly approaching that. Should easily hit that by month's end, if not in just a couple of weeks. So if you want to be entered to win, or for any of the future giveaways here at the channel, all the same rules will always apply. All you have to do, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below, because it's truly random. The more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will be announced at the end of videos, the same way we're doing here, not in the comments. If you see those WhatsApp scammers that have been all over my channel and other channels, and really all over YouTube, don't reply to them. I don't reach out that way. I announce winners in video and then verify your account after that through my business email. It's nothing like that. So make sure you go ahead and report those comments. Be vigilant. If you want to find me on social media, I'm over on Instagram and Twitter at IamFires. You can also find me on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, iTunes, wherever you listen to original music under the name Allfires. And while I'd sincerely appreciate you checking that channel out, thanks for checking this channel out. Stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.